Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge. And we're still working out some minor kinks with our production.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. We did buy a video camera. We just haven't got it set up yet. But yeah, we're here. We're in our office. We're in our studio recording.
Some idiot dropped the video camera the day we took it out of the box. So I'm that idiot.
He's that guy. You're not that guy, pal. So we got a card to break down.
We do.
But you had something to talk about.
I have an idea.
All right, what's the idea?
I was texting him. I was talking to my buddy Cole Schaefer, and we were talking about fighter pay.
Okay.
And how he thinks the UFC they're shooting themselves in the foot, and in 5 years things could look very different with what PFL's doing. ONE FC's trying to come to the United States. Realtor's trying to make moves. Things could look different for the UFC if they don't start paying their fighters better.
Yeah.
Big difference is they have 724 active. Oh boy.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to show these. Show these.
Yeah. So they have 724 active fighters.
Yeah.
The UFC does. Way more than other organizations.
Oh yeah.
Way more, right? And the goal is to get to the UFC for most guys, right? Well, instead of unionizing, right? That's what the UFC wants to avoid, right?
Yeah.
Instead of unionizing. So instead of unionizing and causing a giant issue with the UFC and stuff, why don't they just make them employees and pay them a salary to be on the UFC roster?
That's actually a damn good idea.
What am I missing here? Because seriously, think about it.
So,
right now, like if you're a UFC fighter, you sign your first contract with the UFC, it's generally like 12 and 12.
Yeah.
12,000 to show, 12,000 to win. You fight, maybe 4 times a year if you're lucky, 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah. Well, if you're lucky, yeah.
So let's say best case scenario, you fight 4 times in a year every 3 months. You go 2-2.
Okay.
Right now, you're making 24, that's 48. Another 12 because you lost, that's 60. Another 12, 72. You're about 72 grand before taxes, paying your coaches, managers. You're probably bringing home after all that about 40 for the year.
That's not much.
It's not much, but that's what you're bringing home. What if instead they sign you to the UFC roster and they say, when we sign you, say, hey, we're going to pay you $50,000 a year to be on the UFC roster.
And then could they get their own sponsorship money? Or would it still have to run through the UFC?
It still have to run through like Venom and stuff. But at least they're not independent contractors and stuff now. Because like right now what's so disingenuous is saying they're independent contractors, but you can't go get your own sponsorships.
Would them being an employee limit them? Obviously, we're just talking. But would it limit them from doing their own thing like Sean O'Malley with like the T-shirts? Would he be able to do that if he was an employee of the UFC?
I don't know.
I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, that could be an issue, right?
Yeah.
You would limit that platform. But at least you could give them a guaranteed, like, hey, if I guarantee you $50K a year, we know how fighters live. Like, we have a couple buddies that are professional fighters trying to make it. And either they have other full-time jobs or they are living literally like fight to fight, taking fights, maybe even when they shouldn't because they need money, doing things like that. What if you give them a little bit, you give them this little base,
yeah,
$50,000 a year, and then you kick them, and then you say, "Here's this fight for 12 grand."
I think that would help alleviate a lot of the.
And Cole brought up a good point. He goes, well, "What about if people that just sit, fire them?"
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, you're just collecting 50 grand a year, and you really don't want to fight anybody.
Yeah,
you're fired. Bye.
Well, don't they kind of already have that in place, don't they? Because
Dana has to offer them 3 fights a year.
Yeah.
That's the contract. He has to offer them 3 fights a year. But what they'll do sometimes too is they'll say, do you want to fight this guy? No, because he's a killer. You want to fight, like, they'll give them like bad matchups on purpose, so they say no, and then they can cut them anyways.
Yeah. It's a touchy subject, man.
But I'm like, how do you make these fighters feel secure so they're not just like, we don't have a future, we don't have whatever. Set them up like as employees. Give them a 401k match. Give them the health insurance is included as employee. Like you do. And for those that are, you want to talk numbers, because I have done a little bit of research, in 2020, the second quarter of 2020, because they are a publicly traded company, so they have to share this type of stuff. Their revenue was $258 million.
Okay.
So I mean, they were on. I mean, that was the biggest quarter they've ever had.
Yeah.
But so they're on track to have a $800 million year.
Yeah.
What I just suggested, that the salaries is only like that's only like $72 million a year in salaries. Out of $800 million in salaries, and then you have all that, that still leaves a pretty fat margin for, and you can have more incentive. Hey, if you fight 3 times a year, we'll kick you an extra 10 grand.
Yeah.
You fight 5 times a year, like Kevin Holland just did, you get a $25,000 bonus. You could do these, give them a smaller base, but more incentive based, kind of like NFL contracts, right? You get your little guaranteed money and then a ton of incentives to make it bigger.
I agree, man. I think once you've made it to that level, once you've made it to that elite level, to that UFC, there shouldn't be fighters having to worry about how they're going to pay their bills. Negative checking balances. What was her name? Yeah, Cheyenne Bice. Yeah, same thing. It's like, okay, you're an elite level athlete, and you're having
a professional athlete
at that level.
Then it's still basically her side gig because they have to do something else to earn money. I mean, look at Jordan Levin. His wife works full time.
Yeah, I mean, look at Stipe. He's a freaking firefighter
for the health insurance.
Yeah,
freaking back in the day. What's his name? Fought Brock Lesnar. Shane Carwin.
Yeah, didn't
give his engineering job up for the benefits.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the UFC was like, man, what can we do to get you? How much could we have to pay you to quit that job? He's like, nothing. I need the benefits for my family.
Yeah, I
need the health benefits. I need health insurance. I don't know if his wife or his kid need a medication. I don't know about you guys, but my son needs an inhaler. It costs like $200.
Yeah,
to refill that thing.
They got to do something for these guys. Something's got to change.
I think it's interesting, and because here we talk about you're your own brand, you're your own business, whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, about 92% of those guys don't understand that, and I don't think that that's changing anytime soon. How do you fix that? If they have the employee mindset, let them be employees then.
Maybe the UFC at the PI center could set up some type of course for these guys. Hey, these are some things that you can do to help. I don't know.
I would the
NFL do that when they get rookies in there. They get
rookie symposium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would be curious to see how many fighters out of 724 in the UFC have an LLC set up that they're writing their stuff off.
I bet it's less than 10%.
Oh,
I bet it's less. I bet it's.
I was going to say, I hope it's at least 50.
I would guarantee it's not 50%.
Oh.
I pretty much could guarantee it's not 50%.
I'm an amateur fighter and I write off my stuff.
Well, you're starting to see that with some of these older vets telling these guys, "Hey, get through LLCs."
Ben Askren did. He did it, and he was sharing people with that, trying to teach young fighters about that.
I think as the sport grows, we talked about it just becoming a mainstream sport. As it starts to grow, I think you're going to see some of this stuff some of these kinks kind of work out over the years, but it's growing pains, man.
It's growing pains, but like I said, I think if you're the UFC and you want to stay at the top, there's nothing wrong with being different than the way that other organizations do it. Because at the end of the day, I don't think the UFC is going anywhere, because at the end of the day, that's the coveted title. I don't know who wins the PFL championships. I can't name one FC championship since Demetrius Johnson lost.
You couldn't even tell you.
I like watching the fights, but I don't know. Bellator has some high level guys, but it's like.
Well, you talk to people
and that's only been within the last year that I've been like, I could tell you, who their champions are.
Yeah. You talk to people that aren't familiar with it, will say, "Oh, you do UFC?" It's like they associate MMA as being
the whole sport.
UFC that's MMA. It's growing pains, man. I think we're gonna start working out some of these kinks. I think some of the stuff will start to change.
I just know from my experience, it's just like you come up and you want to feel like you've made it. You get to the UFC, you want to feel like you've made it.
Yeah.
But we just saw what's his name? Bricks. Jimmy Flick.
Yeah.
Retired because he's like, there's no longevity in this sport. This isn't a career.
Oh, Scott said they do have training for them. Sorry, guys, we're a little slow on the comments
they
today.
have training. I'm sure they have training for them.
I'm on.
But I mean, thank you, Scott. I'm sure they have the training and stuff for them. I just wonder how to utilize it because they just don't do it because Scott knows more than ever. Like just because there's a resource for fighters doesn't mean they exactly use it. I mean, we get told every Steelfish show about the insurance in the process, and you have 3 days to file a claim and stuff like that. And we just had a veteran of the league, Michael Lasky, talk about broke his hand and there was issues with the insurance because on his part he didn't do something.
Yeah,
like that's a guy that's been around like
he's got 9 fights.
So I mean, reading the rules, that would be interesting. That's a weird one. Understanding the judging and all that stuff. I think that's a big ask to ask fighters to, if they're not going to even read the own rules of their sports and the judging criteria, they're probably not taking advantage of LLCs, tax write-offs, and things like that. I'm sure the resource is available to them, but whether they do it or not is that.
Well, I think one of the shifts you're starting to see in MMA is I think we're starting to turn that corner because I think fighters are starting to be a little more educated. You're starting to see these guys. It's not just the tough guys getting in there to fight now, right? It's the martial artists that are getting the mixed martial artists that have been training all their lives.
Oh yeah,
they're a little more. I don't want to come off as sounding rude or anything. They're a little more educated, I guess I should say. They're not just, hey, we're just going to go throw down at a bar fight.
You just called Chuck Liddell dumb. You just did it. You called Chuck Liddell dumb.
I mean,
have some respect.
Because they already know. Scott, thanks for tuning in, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, they already know. Scott.
Even got my mom tuning in today. Hi, Mom. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Scott Bowler posted a picture with his old Showdown shirt.
I saw that.
I want to bring back. Who do we got to talk to? Scott, who do we have to talk to get the rights to it so that Damage Plan can start
let's throw some old throwback shirts.
Old school throwback shirts, like some Showdown shirts and stuff.
Hey, speaking of shirts, I have Eagle Fang Karate Contender Series shirt on. Eagle Fang, baby.
Contender Clothing. I got my Cobra Kai shirt on from Contender Clothing today.
A little battle today. Eagle Fang and Cobra Kai. Hey, we should once we get our camera set up, we could put a little mat down here.
Yeah. We could do tutorials. You can be my training dummy. I'll choke you.
Hell yeah. Should we break down this card or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Kai Stewart, message me. Let's get you on the show, bro.
Yeah. Section 8 Clothing has a screen. All right, we're going to go talk to Section 8 Clothing. Done. I could get the screens. That's easy. That's the easy part, Scott.
I just want to make sure we're not infringing on anybody's copyright or anything like that.
All right, we're going to break down this card. Usually I have my computer set up off to the side so I can read this. I'm going to have to read it off my phone, so don't hate on the production today.
It's a work in progress, folks.
It is a work in progress. First up, in the bantamweight division, we got Jonathan Martinez fighting Marcelo Rojo. Did I say that right? I'm having a hard time with that name today.
Works for me.
Martinez is 13-4, stands 5'8" with a 69.5-inch reach. Marcelo is 16-7. He stands 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Who do you like in this one, Zach?
I like Jonathan Martinez for a couple of reasons. One, at this weight class, he's 5'8", he's a good size. But I look at the wins and I look at past opponents. He did lose his last fight to Davey Grant, but beat Thomas Almeida.
It's a good win.
Huge good win. Split decision with Andre Ewell at 145. No, that was when Ewell was 35. I apologize. But split decision with Andre Ewell. I think that's a really good win. Or that's an okay loss, I should say, not win, but a wash to Matt Schnell in Legacy FC, who's now a UFC fighter before they were in the UFC. Good experience, 17 fights, good amateur career. Marcel Rojo, he's a featherweight. They have him listed as a featherweight. He's one of those guys where I just don't know if he's found his correct weight class yet.
He's only had one fight in the UFC too.
And 0-1 in the UFC versus a guy like Martinez's experience and the competition level he's faced. I actually think that you're getting really good value at about minus 150, 155 with Martinez on this one.
I don't hate it. I'm going to go with Martinez on this one as well. I like the experience. We will both agree on this one.
I hate agreeing with you.
But guess what, Zach? You're going to. Next up in the middleweight division.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh, Scott put more stuff up there.
Yeah.
Scott, I love everybody in acting. All right, middleweight division. We got Dolce Lungiambulala. We'll just call him champion.
If you would have nailed that, I would be so impressed.
Lungiambula against Marc-Andre Beirut. The champion is 11-2, 5'8" with a 76-inch reach. This guy, the champion, he's a middleweight, 185. He's 5'8".
I know.
That's a little dude.
But he's a powerhouse.
Beirut is 12-4, stands 6'1" with a 71-inch reach. What do you like about that? What stands out to you on this fight?
Oh wow, me and Kai Stewart, we're gonna agree on this one. He said champion wins, trained with him. He's a bad dude.
Ooh, like champion.
I have champion at plus 145 as an underdog in this fight. Super live dog. When I look at Marc-Andre, he went through that 3-fight losing streak, got a no contest, and then got a win. He's obviously tough to finish, or he wasn't finishing any of those fights, and when he wins, he tends to finish. The momentum he's on versus the momentum champion's on coming off of a win. I don't know. It's 2-1 in the UFC. I feel like there's good value for the power there. And he's got a good gas tank. For being a big muscle guy, I've seen him go 3 rounds before. He's got a good gas tank. I think his power plays out on this one, and he gets it done by decision.
I'm going to agree with you on this one, too.
Dang it. I like the plus 145. I actually thought champion should have been a little bit of a favorite, to be honest.
I do like the underdog odds on this one.
Yeah, too much.
We are in this one. All right, next up, this should be a great fight. Charles Air Jourdain is fighting Julian Juicy J. Arosa. Jourdain, 11-3-1, stands 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. Juicy J, 25-9. He stands 6'1" with a 74.5-inch reach. Juicy J has taken this fight on short notice, I believe.
Yeah, super short notice. That's why it's a catch weight at 150.
It's a catch weight. Yep, it is a catch weight fight, which could benefit Arosa more, in my opinion.
I think so. Julian's a huge featherweight. Huge featherweight. And I think his experience gets it done in this one again. I'm going to ride with Julian Arosa. Juicy J, he let us down a little bit against Woo Choi. Woo Choi cracked. I don't remember hearing anybody ever hit somebody the way that he was hitting Arosa. That guy had scary power, but he came through for us a few times before that. One fight's not going to deter me. I'm still on our boy Juicy J. And he's a plus 150 underdog again. I love Juicy J as an underdog.
I'm taking the underdog. I like the underdog, Juicy J.
2-3 is in his last 3 fights as an underdog.
Hey, if you've been on our podcast, I'm cheering for you.
Yeah.
Juicy J.
Been on our podcast.
I'm taking the underdog odds. I'm going with Juicy J. Next up, we're jamming through these ones today because we got a 1 o'clock fighter spotlight, guys. Next up, we have Jack Shore. He is undefeated at 14-0, fighting Ludwig Shaolinian. Oh, man, I don't even know how to say that. I don't know. The guy's from Ukraine. He's 9-1-1, stands 5'10", no reach. Jack Shore's 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. What do you like on this one? Pretty heavy odds on
Jack Shore's the biggest. He's the big favorite of the dude. He might be the only giant favorite on the card. I don't think anybody else is above minus 220, but Jack Shore doesn't just win this fight. I think he dominates, and I think he makes it look easy.
You're not even going to give this guy a chance.
Nope.
Nothing, huh?
Nope.
Whoa, what is that? Well, I don't know who that is, but hi.
Hi.
Oh, he's from Russia. 81-inch reach and 16 years old. Holy shit. Jeez.
Picture it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
So you're pretty heavy on Tank.
Yeah.
Jack Shore. We're in agreement on
and
that one.
You don't bet on people that are minus 600 in the UFC because things like Gerald Marsh don't happen. So,
yeah.
But he wins.
Next up in the women's flyweight division,
we got Jack Shore in your DraftKings lineup. That's what you do.
Ji Young Kim. She is fighting Molly McCain, Meatball. Yeon Kim is 9-3-2. She's got 2 draws. You don't see that too often. 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. Meatball is 10-4. She stands 5'4" with a 62-inch reach. You like Molly McCain in this one, right?
You talked me into liking Molly McCain in this one.
Did I?
As I looked into it more, yeah, I do like Molly McCain. She is a slight underdog. I mean, it's pretty much a coin flip. I think Molly McCain has just – I think her wrestling and her physicality, she imposes her will in this fight and gets the win. She is coming off a 2-fight losing streak, which is the other thing that I do like is sometimes when they've lost twice and they've been getting finished, it's like, okay, they're probably on their way out. When you lose 2 fights at a unanimous decision, I feel like that there's going to be some urgency to get this to the good ground, control the fight. She needs a win. She needs a bad. I think the urgency gets it done for her, and she wins via decision.
Well, on a coin flip fight, according to Tapology, Molly McCain is plus even money.
Straight cash.
I am going to, like I always do. What's that?
This guy said his leg reach is 43 inches. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. But you know how I am. I'll take the plus money on coin flip fights all day long on Molly McCain. That's the way I like to roll. Next up, in the lightweight division, Luigi Venturamini, the Italian stallion, fights Paddy the Baddy Pimlet. Venturini is 9-2. He stands 5'8" with a 73-inch reach. Paddy the Baddy, 16-3. He stands 5'10". There is no reach here on Paddy the Baddy, making his UFC debut.
Let's see.
I just died in Apex trying to listen. Nice. Oh yeah.
Let's
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Paddy
the Baddy, man. It's his
all over.
long-awaited debut.
So, 2 things. I know we are short on time and not to rush it too much, but to me, this is the second most important fight other than the main event in this card is to see Paddy the Baddy debut. Paddy the Baddy. So Paddy. Don't work.
Paddy.
So here's the thing that I really like about it. The UFC tried to sign him. The UFC tried to sign him in 2018 and in 2020, and he waited. They did the same thing with Israel Adesanya. When you have a fighter that knows, no, I need more experience because when I come, I'm going to come prepared. Yuri Prokoziov.
The
Whatever.
same guy. Yeah.
He did the same thing. Turned down multiple offers to come to the UFC early. And he said, "No, I'm not ready yet. I need more experience." Israel Adesanya did it. The people that do that, they pretty much come in and shoot right to the top. I think that was the plan all along. I think I like his confidence. I like his swagger. I think he's kind of annoying. I think he irritates me. But he will be in the limelight, and he seems to be somebody that thrives in it. And the fact that he's only a -155 favorite might be the best chance you'll have to cash in on him, because I'll bet you his next couple fights he'll get into Sean O'Malley zone where it's like -3, -400, things like that.
He is. If you don't follow him on Twitter, go give this guy a follow. He's freaking hilarious. I will say, caution though. He may be a little harsh for some American fans to take. They have a little bit different sense of humor over there where he's from.
He has a potty mouth. Let's just say that.
He likes to talk trash, and he does it very well. I like the kid. I think he's great. He kind of looks like –
I think he's annoying.
He kind of looks like –
fat little chipmunk cheeks.
And he has the hair like what's his name? Sunshine.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Paddy the Baddy. I'm all on Paddy the Baddy as well. All right, next up. Where are we at here? Next up, we're on the main card. Paddy the Baddy is the first fight on the main card. Light heavyweight division. We got Khalil Roundtree, the Warhorse. He is 8-5, stands 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. He is fighting Modestas Bukakas. He is 11-4. He stands 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. What do you like on this one?
I actually really like. Sorry, I'm not right here. I actually like Khalil Roundtree as an underdog.
Really?
So you see 2 Khalil Roundtrees. I've seen Khalil Roundtree be really good.
Yeah.
I've seen him be kind of off. I'm kind of betting him on him being good Khalil Roundtree for this. Just my gut. I think he's good Khalil for this fight. I don't know why. He's on a 2-fight losing streak.
They both are.
He's never lost 3 fights in a row in his career. And he doesn't have the sexiest record in the world. He's 8-5, but he's never lost. He's never lost more than 2 in a row. He has a couple 2L skids, but never more than that. He has some good wins over Paul Craig, Eric Anders. So yeah, I am on the underdog Khalil Roundtree because if he is good, I think he makes it look easy.
I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna try to stay on Bukakis one more time. He's burned me the last 2, although the last one was a split decision that I felt probably should have won that fight. And then the fight before that, he loses to Jimmy Crute, and Jimmy Crute's a stud. So
it's gonna be a close fight.
Yeah. What's the odds? Bukakis is slight -155 favorite. It's not a lock. I'm not betting it. But I'll disagree with you, and I'll take Bukakis on that one.
Sounds good, man.
Next up in the welterweight division, we got David Zawadi Saget. Yeah, Street Fighter against Alex the Great White Morano. Zawadi is 17-6. He stands 6 foot tall with a 75-inch reach. Morano 19-7. He stands 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. What do you like in this one?
I really, really like Alex Morano in this fight.
Alex Morano's a tough dude. And he trains at Fortis MMA.
Trains at Fortis. One I like that. Maybe ride a little momentum from his teammate, Ricky Toshio, winning the
Ultimate Fighter.
So that's cool. But one thing that I really like, he came out and did what he's supposed to do against Donald Cerrone, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of one of their moments. Either Donald was going to springboard back into maybe going the right way, and he put the X-nay on that. I think this is his chance to kind of springboard, get some momentum, get going. I like the way that he looked. He looked like a killer in that fight, and that's what you're going to need against Mr. Street Fighter over here, David Zawada, who did take Emanov to a tough split decision, but I was pretty sure he lost that fight too.
You know what? I know everybody's high on Morano, but I think Saget gets this one done, man.
Do you really?
I do. I'm going to take the underdog on this. Even though he, like you said, he took a loss to Ivanov in split decision, he beat a Nurmagomedov in his fight before that. He triangle choked a Nurmagomedov. That tells me all I need to know. I'm taking the plus money on that. David Zawadi, Zagat.
I don't hate it.
Next up in the co-main event at heavyweight, you got Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Spivak, the polar bear. Aspinall is 10-2. He stands 6'5" with a 78-inch reach, and Spivak is 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. So these guys are pretty much dead even all around. You and I talked a little bit about this before we went on air, and are we putting a little caution on this one like we did last week against Gerald Merchart, or are we?
Oh yeah,
little.
Oh yeah. This fight, I think this fight should be more like a -150, +110, +120. I think Tom Aspinall, people are sleeping on Spivak, and if we know anything about the sport, you sleep on somebody, and they're bound to come up and ruin your parlay. That's for sure.
Dude, he's on a 3-fight win streak. He's young. He's only 26 years old. I hear people saying, "Oh, he's peaked and he's this and he's that."
He's a kid.
He's 26 years old.
And what else do we know? Let's see. What is that rule up there? He's not a Dagestani, but he's from Russia and he can wrestle.
He can wrestle.
He can wrestle his you-know-what off. And I think that when you have a guy in Spivak, who we've never seen Tom Aspinall fight anybody at Spivak's level either. Now, granted, Tom Aspinall's kind of just blasted through everybody. Spivak necessarily hasn't done that, but, he wrestled with Alexei Oleinik.
Yes.
Ground and pound, Jared Bandonier. Carlos Felipe, he beat up pretty good. His losses were to Marcin Tybura and Walt Harris, 2 veterans of the division and in the UFC. Super experienced guys. That's it. Those are his 2 losses. He's super active. He fights all the time. I'm picking Spivak. +185, the value. I think if he takes him down, I don't think Tom Aspinall's ever fought anybody that's as big and strong as he is. And Spivak has.
I think just from the experience factor of who he's fought, I don't hate it, dude. I don't hate it. Matter of fact, I'm going to ride with you on that. I think the odds are a little bit too far. I don't know what Vegas is seeing. Maybe it's because Aspinall has all this hype. Look, he's the real deal. He freaking chokes out Andre Arlovski. But who's he fought since? Who's he fought? He's 10-2, right?
Yeah. You got
Sergey is.
He's way more battle tested.
He's fought Alan Baudot. Who's that?
Never heard of him.
Jake Collier. Come on, we seen that was the guy that was the welterweight, right?
That was the worst, 185.
Yeah, 185 guy that's up to heavyweight. Okay, come on. He's got a couple Cage Warriors wins against nobodies. I mean, the guy's great. He's big. He's athletic. He can move really well. I just think from an odds standpoint, I like what we're getting. I like the 2-1 odds.
All the values on Spivak.
I'm all in. All right, next up in the what are we in the middleweight division? Main event: Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. Derek Brunson, 22-7. He stands 6'1" with a 77-inch reach. The Gorilla, 18-3-1. He stands 6 foot tall with a 75-inch reach.
I've always been the one that's like, don't look past Brunson. He's dangerous. He's awkward. He's a veteran. He's this. You have to be special to beat him. Unfortunately for Derek Brunson, I think unfortunately for Brunson, I think Till's special. I think Till knocks him out. If Brunson does not control him on the ground, wrestling wise, very similar to what he did to Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Till knocks him out. The differences between Till and Kevin Holland is Till can wrestle a little. Till has a jiu-jitsu game. He has a little bit of a ground game. He has a bigger frame. I think he's going to be harder to wrestle. I think he's going to have some better success stopping takedowns.
Yeah.
And Till's been to the top. I like Darren Till. I think it's a good fight, but I think Darren Till wins.
Well, as much as we hate agreeing, I got to agree with you.
Here's the other thing.
Dude.
Here's the other thing. Till wins this fight. He probably jumps Cannonier and gets the next fight with Izzy. It seems like that's what Izzy wants, and I think that's what the UFC wants. What would you rather market? Till Izzy or Cannonier Izzy?
Till all day long. Till all day long. He is great. He is great on the mic. He's fun to watch. I like the youth. I like the experience. Bronson,
I like Brunson a lot.
He's 38 years old. Yeah.
Okay, this guy. Okay,
he's tight.
I really like this guy. Yeah. I don't know who he is, but he asked us, for those of you who don't believe it, how do I scroll up at this thing? I don't know how to use Mac.
Oh, what are you trying to do?
Scroll up. I want to make sure I read it right. Oh, he says, oh, yeah, this one right there. He's asking us to speak in Russian because he doesn't understand us very well. Bro, we don't speak Russian. We're in America. We speak English.
We bet
on Russians all the time. We love Russians. We just don't speak it. So
Hasbullah, can we get Hasbullah on?
Hasbullah. I was very angry that Frivola did not get his fight with
Dude, speaking of fights, that's Frivola and Brad Riddell is a banger of a fight.
That's a crazy fight. It's a crazy fight. Speaking of a banger fight, we had a change heavyweights for Steel Fist. So we'll wrap this up. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Hop right back on because we're gonna have Zeke, half of the Steel Fist heavyweight title fight against our boy Fiji. It's gonna be a good one. Tune in, listen to what Zeke has to say.
We will be right back.
Thanks,
guys, for tuning in.